Hey guys, TSW here with TGN, and in this video I'm going to go over how to keybind, how to effectively keybind, and also at the end a little bit about the muscle memory. Okay, so here I am using the default Blizzard UI for just the action bars. Okay, so basically I'm going to show you how to keybind first of all. Hit options and then go to keybinds. This will bring up the keybind interface. Basically what you have here is everything that the game can provide use with your keyboard. So any keyboard key is bindable to any of the commands you see on the left hand side. Just bear in mind, if you have multiple characters on the same server, you want to be clicking the character specific keybinds, or else you're going to clash keybinds with characters, and that's not great. Okay, so to start off with, WASD, everyone knows that. Forward, backwards, left, right, that's cool, that's cool. But you know, if you wanted to change that, I know some people play with ESDF and stuff like that. That's where you can change them. Let's go down to action bar 1, which corresponds to our primary action bar, which by default is 1 to equals. Now, I'm going to go over what I would classify as primary keybinds, and that's basically anything on the left hand side of your keyboard. I'd say anything including and to the left of 6, T, G and N. That's basically where all my keybinds are localized. Equals is a terrible keybind. I don't know why anyone would ever keybind equals, because it's way too far on the other side of the keyboard. You can't realistically be turning your character and moving him whilst hitting equals, because it just strains your arm. It's just ineffective completely. And basically anything on the right hand side of the keyboard I feel that way about. So instead of having 7 as my shield wall, I'm going to change it. Shift 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are great keybinds to eliminate the use of inefficient, hard to use keybinds. Excuse me, I just drank some Dr. Pepper. 9, we could have scroll down, middle mouse button, use our mouse buttons there. We can also do Alt 1, Alt 2, F1, F2, all this sort of thing. And in a moment I'm going to go on to my UI and go through all of my keybinds and why I have keybound them the way I have. But first, let's go to my webcam and I'll show you how my hand fits on my keyboard, and basically I'm going to rank each keybind as to how effective it is for me to use personally, and hopefully you guys can apply this to your own gameplay. Okay, so here I am with my webcam and some sort of contraption to hold my webcam above my keyboard. So yeah, that's a little bit unstable, but here we go. So my hand is predominantly going to be on my W, A, S and D key. So it's going to be like this. I'm going to move my webcam out the way a bit. Okay, so my thumb is going to be on my B, V and C keys here. I also use N a little bit as well for my intercept. But yeah, okay, so basically anything on the left hand side of the keyboard here is what I'd class as a primary keybind. These are the good keybinds that you want to be aiming to use, because equals and trying to turn your character left with A is not going to happen. That's pointless, and it's the same for 7 and stuff like that for you trying to reach over there. So basically, obviously WSD are the godly keybinds. These are the binds that basically they're the reason for binding everything to the left, because that's where your WSD keys are. Also, we have obviously our 1 to 6. This is where most people have their main abilities, especially 1 to 5, as 6 is a little bit to the right hand side and not quite as easy to get as like 2, 3, 4. They're the really easy ones to get. But also, I can never remember what the symbol is next to 1. I use that one quite a lot for my shield block. F1, I use my inner rage, which is now bringing up the video capture online help, which is great. F2, I think on my DPS warrior, that's like a shield reflect macro. I think it's shield reflect as well, actually, on the main. But yeah, I like going through my keybinds. I can't tell you exactly what all of them are, but that's to do with muscle memory. We'll get onto that later on. F3 rend, F4 berserker rage, shield block, concussion blow, Revenge, Heroic Strike, no, Shield Slam, Heroic Strike, Pummel, Shockwave, and basically, you know, it's keybinds. That's weird. So the most important keybinds. Also Q I don't have bound, which is strafe left, and E, which is strafe right, I don't have bound. I have these bound to Demoralizing Shout and Thunderclap. Basically because you can unbind these keys and still have the functionality of strafing by simply right-clicking your mouse button down and using A and D. You can see my S and D keys have worn away a bit. But yeah, once you have your right mouse button held down, you can use A and D to strafe. And once you have all your abilities bound, you'll never, ever, ever need to use your mouse for clicking any of your abilities. Therefore, your mouse can solely be used for camera placement, and then obviously having your right mouse held down to use A and D. So here my thumb uses my C through to N, little finger on Shift. If I need Control and Alt as well, I can do Alt with my thumb, all that cool stuff. So now I'm going to go in game and go through my keybinds whilst frapsing and show you which keybinds I have where, and also most importantly why, and also talk a little bit about muscle memory, which is quite important when playing any sort of video game. Okay, so I'll see you in game. Okay, so here I am back in game. Gonna hit escape, go to key bindings, and did I mention this before? Make sure you have character specific keybinds turned on if you wish to have different keybinds for different characters. Okay, so let's go to our bottom left keybinds. So that would be the bar here. So let's make a keybind for shield block. Now for shield block, I've always simply had the symbol left of number 1. It's almost as simple to click as number 1, funnily enough, and it's very effective for me to use. And yeah, I've had the keybinds for a while like this, so they come very naturally to me. And also the use of muscle memory is great when you know exactly what keybinds you've been using for a long time. G is charge. Basically it's in the middle of the keyboard, really easy to use. G, simple as that, charge. As long as you've got something to charge that's targeted, you're all good with that. The only downside about having it as G is it's right next to F, and F is my taunt key, so there has been like 1 or 2 occasions since Cataclysm that I've taunted the boss when I've meant to charge it. So yeah. And then obviously the blatantly obvious excuse of, oh yeah, I'm just checking that the other tank is, you know, paying attention and stuff. Yeah. But yeah. Next is Enraged Rejuvenation. Shift 4. Don't ask me why it's Shift 4. It's just an available keybind that's easy for me to press. Quite simple. I'm going to use C for keybind button 4. And this is Heroic Leap. Now C by default is to toggle your character pane, and if we scroll up here to toggle character pane in the interface panel functions, we can see that it is no longer bound. In order for us to get our character pane up, we would have to click down here, character info. But instead I quite simply bind it to Shift C, because I'd much rather have a 2-stage keybind, i.e. Shift stage 1, C stage 2. So there's a 2-step process there to get our character pane up. And why would I need my character pane to be up instantly? I'd much rather be able to Heroic Leap straight away than wait a fraction of a second to get my character info up. And next we have Challenging Shout, which I have as Shift T. Again, you can argue, because it's a two-stage process with Shift and T, that it's not as effective as T. But I find that, for me at least, I've had it as Shift T for such a long time. And again, with muscle memory, I'll get into that when I don't talk about something else. Like when I've got nothing to talk about, I'll talk about muscle memory, because that's very important to talk about. Intercept N, because it's an available keybind and it's easy for my thumb to touch. And then we have button 7, which is Shift Mouse Button 5. Yeah, it actually says 5. Okay, so mouse button 5. So that's easy for me to do, just Shift and the mouse button. That's easy. And then we have F4 for my Berserker Rage. So that's cool. So basically, try and use your mouse, all the buttons on your mouse. Well, basically, okay, don't try and use all the buttons on your mouse. Try and use the keys which are easy for you to reach, easy for you to learn them nice and easily. Don't do anything too complicated like Control Alt Z or something. Make them nice and simple, easy for you to learn, and like ergonomic. They want to be keys that don't stretch your hand too much, because if you're raiding for 4 hours, your hands are going to be a wreck by the end of it. And you obviously don't want to damage yourself due to poor key binding. That would be dreadful, you know, not being able to go into work because of severe keybind mismanagement. That would be crazy. Okay, so what I'm going to do is now cut to my interface with my keybinds and just show you the sort of keybinds that I use. Just whilst I'm setting up my interface, the add-on I use to manage my bars is called Bartender. Basically, you have your main bar, you have your bottom left, bottom right, and your 2 on the right hand side, but also you have 4, which are you use your shift and arrow keys, or shift 1 to 4, and you have additional bars. So basically, if I unlock, you can see my various bars here. I have one hidden on the far right hand side, which only appears when I hover over it, which is great for, you know, flasks, for mounts, stuff that you don't need to see, and vigilance as well. So that's really cool. You can move them where you want. Have a vehicle bar where you like it, stance bar, resize everything, change the opacity, all that cool stuff. Get rid of your XP bar, reputation bars, all that really cool stuff. And yeah, it's great. And it also does your micro menu, which I have here, which fades out when I'm not hovering over it. Oh, I need to enable it first, and then lock, and then it comes back. And also it does your bags as well, which I don't have on show. I don't actually have them enabled. And yeah, that's Bartender, really good add-on for using your bars, and also keybinds as well. Sorry, keybinds, big button here when you do /bar to bring up this interface. Go onto keybinds, and it's quite simply hover over them and spam your keys. Press escape to get rid of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, escape. 5, escape, 6, and if you press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 0, they'll all be bound to my commanding shout, which is unnecessary to say the least. Okay, so I'm going to sort out my keybind now. Okay, so here I am wrapping up my moves on my bars. Ooh. As you can see, I have quite a lot of moves darted all over the place, and so using an add-on such as Bartender, I'm able to easily configure my keybinds as well as have the position of my bars where I like them. So if I go onto keybinds here, I can go through all of my keybinds. I'm going to tick characters specific, so any of the characters won't have the same keybinds, because once you play around with the moving of the bars, it's very easy to lose track of which bar is which, and when you disable Bartender, your keybinds will be all over the place basically. Okay, so my shield block is going to be the button next to 1, because that's really easy to get. G for Heroic Strike, Shift 4 for Enraged Rejuvenation, C for Heroic Leap, Shift T for Challenging Shout, N for my Intercept, Shift mouse button 5 for my Intervene. I seem to have my Heroic Leap twice. I'm just going to cut to a screenshot to see what my moves were without having 2 Heroic Leaps. It was not Enraged Rejuvenation, Berserker Rage. Where's that little boy? Berserker Rage. There we go. And that is F4. Shift mouse button wheel down for my Disarm. Shift mouse button 4 for my Intimidating Shout. V for my Trinket. Alt 1 and Shift /, which is a really, really awkward keybind, but it's one I can do with my little finger. It's really bizarre. You try doing Shift / with your little finger. It's weird, but it's what I do for my battle shout. And then Alt 1 for my commanding shout, which is a little bit easier to do. F for taunt, right in the middle of my keyboard, really accessible. F1 for a bit of lag there. F1 for my Inner Rage, mouse button down for my Devastate, F5 for my Shoot. It's F5 because it's a keybind which isn't used, and also it doesn't need to be one that's in the primary keybind section, i.e. the left hand side of the keyboard, because how often do I shoot? Like when we're doing Nefarian Achievement, I think that's the first time I shot during Cataclysm. My elixirs I don't have bound, but my pots I do. I think it's T and I can't remember actually. Okay, it's F2 and T. So the top one's apparently F2. Ugh. F2, and T. So that's great. You can see how often I use pots. And rallying cries Shift E. And do I have a keybind for Shadow Meld? No, because I don't use it. And then Shift V for my Shattering Throw. Yeah, I use Shattering Throw as tank. It's pretty cool. Cleave is mouse button down. Victory Rush is B. Thunderclap is E. Demolishing Shout is Q. Healthstone is R. Spellflect is Shift 2. Pummel is repeated for some reason. It is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 6. Now what move am I missing there? Let's try and work it out. Last Stand, most likely. Yeah. But then I've got Shockwave repeated twice as well. This is intriguing. My spells are all over the place. Turns out it's a heroic throw. And if you guys, I'm sure at least someone watching this will have been thinking, right, I see all his moves. Where the hell's heroic throw? If you're that guy, congratulations. There we go, heroic throw. That should be like an annotation. Which spell's missing? So what's that? What's that? Shift 1. /bar to bring up bartender. Keybinds, Shift 1. There we go. So these are my keybinds. Oh, I also have Control V for my vigilance, and also my mounts as well. They're not bound. Keybinds go down here. I don't know why it's Control up, Control down for my keybinds, up for my flying, down for my land. It just is. They're probably some of the worst keybinds ever. But when do you need to? When is it life or death when you're mounting up in PvE, at least like while I play? Hardly ever. So they don't need to be primary keybinds. So yeah, where's my F1 gone? For my inner rage. There we go. That's good. So these are my keybinds. I'm happy with this. It's what I've been working with for a long time. Okay, finally we're going to get up to muscle memory. Basically, let's go into the training dummies just for some sort of background footage. Dun 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 dun, dun. Dismount. Hey. Okay, my heroic leap didn't work there, so I took damage. Okay, so let's jump on the dummies. So, muscle memory. What is muscle memory? Basically, it's when you take out an additional equation when trying to perform a task with your motor neuron sensory system or something like that. Basically, when I spam my number 3 a lot, I don't, like, say I spam her shield slam all the time, constantly. At the moment, I'm having to concentrate about pushing my number 3 all the time. But before too long, I will be able to simply commentate this video whilst circling this dummy without thinking about pushing my number 3. This is because I have done this task repeatedly for a series of minutes, hours, days, whatever. Your body becomes used to doing this task and it becomes second nature, if you like. And what this means is when you're in a raid and oh my god, I've lost aggro, when you're new to the game you will think, okay, I have lost aggro, I need to taunt. I'm going to move my index finger from where it's positioned on the D key to the F key, and I'm going to select F, and that will bring me to my taunt. That is not using muscle memory. After doing lots of situations where you're having to taunt quickly and it becomes second nature, if you like, when you lose aggro you will think taunt and you will have already clicked your F key. There has been kind of a scary situation I've been in before where it was a case of I can't remember what encounter it was, but it was, okay, I'm tanking this boss, shit, I'm going to take lots of damage. The boss has done an ability which will mean he will be doing lots of damage on me. So I'm there doing my rotation happily, not really thinking about what I'm doing, just beating away at my rotation. The raid leader says TSW, use a cooldown. I'm there doing spamming my shield wall. I'm noticing, what the hell, shield wall's on cooldown. I had already used it without thinking about it. That's muscle memory. And I rely on it way too much, so that I'm basically bound to these keybinds. I can't change my keybinds without vastly disrupting my gameplay for at least a week or something. So all these keybinds I've had them for weeks, months, maybe even like a year, some of them. I can tell this from like previous like TBC screenshots and stuff, but it's a case of I've used these keybinds for so long that I don't need to think about what I'm doing really. Whereas when you're new to the game, you have to think, okay, I'm going to use this ability, number 3, and then I'm going to use some heroic strike, that's number 4. I just go 3, 4. It's really complicated to explain. It's really interesting though. Like if you want to learn more about it, plenty of websites and stuff where you can search and read more about it. But yeah, it's really interesting. Bit of muscle memory. It basically takes the thinking out of playing the game, or doing anything like sport, playing the piano. People who play the piano, they don't think to themselves, okay, finger here, finger there, finger, okay, on this black note, on this white key, going through all the notes and stuff. They think, okay, like if you don't play an instrument, it's like I don't play an instrument. It's a case of when you're trying to learn something, you know it by the position of the keys, where they look like. Whereas a musician does it flawlessly with very little effort about thinking what's, the fundamentals about playing a piano. It's very easy for a pianist to be able to play the piano. Obviously because they've been practicing, they have the muscle memory, they're used to it. They know exactly where their fingers are in relation to the keys which they are pressing. They also think, okay, I'm going to do the note C. I'm going to do a note C. It's done. It's not a case of, like, if I were trying to play the piano, I'd be like, because I'm terrible at the piano, I'd be like, okay, I need to play the note C, look at the keyboard, stare at it, work out which one's C, and think to myself, yeah, that's C, and then click. That's not muscle memory. That's a case of, well, first of all, not being able to play the piano, but secondly, not using muscle memory, because quite simply, I'm not frequently using playing the piano, so I'd be rubbish at trying to use muscle memory to play the piano. And again, it's the same can be applied to sport, doing reps with weights, running. It's like running. You don't think about putting one leg in front of the other. But if you've had like an accident and you're learning to walk again, you have to go through all of those little stages. You go out and walk. You don't think about walking at all. You think forward. I'm going forward. Same with WoW. Same with any of your abilities. If you like, it's only I'd say you only don't have muscle memory for the through level 1 to 10, and then you eventually grasp it, and it just happens automatically. It's not something that you can particularly learn. You can improve it by practicing and playing the game a lot, but it's something that comes more naturally to some people, but eventually it'll come, and eventually it'll, as soon as you start realizing it, it'll click so quickly. And you can easily tell when you don't have muscle memory by simply changing the keybinds of your abilities, go into an instance, and you'll be like, shit, because you're quite simply not familiar with it. It's familiarizing yourself with your spells and abilities in World of Warcraft anyway, with muscle memory. Anyway, I've been TSW. It's gone on a little bit longer than I would have liked this video, but I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please rate this video a thumbs up. And recently I've been posting lots of videos about other games on my channel, so if you want to check that out, the channel is Warrior TSW. There'll be a link in the description if you want to check that out. Selfless plug. I'll catch you guys later for some more World of Warcraft videos, and when 4.2 comes out, don't think I'll be forgetting about it. I'm going to be lots and lots of videos. I've finished college forever now, so I've got the whole of summer to myself, and that means posting hopefully one video a day on my channel, and maybe one video a day on TGN. I'll see how it goes. And yeah, I've been TSW. I'll catch you guys later with TGN. Bye.